And we're live.
Wow.
Hi, Camryn. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Nitzan.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How's everyone doing?
Taboo.
Hey, Yasha. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm really nice. Nice to see you. And I hope everyone's doing okay. And Ronnie Jablon, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Welcome every morning to everybody. Good morning. It's nice to see you. I see some people are beginning to join us to the Sunday morning schmooze. I'm Rabbi Noah Farkas from Valley Beth Shalom, and with me is our Director of Youth Engagement, Camryn Kruger, and our Director of our Social Justice Programming, Nitzan Barlev, as well as two of our amazing teens, Veronica, Ronnie Jablon, and Rebecca Yasha. It's really nice to have all of you here. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nice to see some folks joining us already on Facebook. And this is our Sunday schmooze. So this opportunity for everyone just to check in. If you have questions or comments, things you want to ask, give some announcement. It's really just trying to create a space. But also this morning, we have these wonderful folks with us because we're going to be talking a little bit about the mental health aspect of what it means to be in lockdown from COVID-19, and specifically about what teens are doing. And it's all through our So Healthy Together initiative, which is an initiative we started about 2 years ago addressing mental health and mental wellness as part of Jewish life. So that's why we're here this morning. Let me give you a few announcements just as we're getting started. So today is obviously Sunday. It's May 3rd, and we have the Sunday schmooze. But after this, later this afternoon, Kenner Barron's going to be doing his weekly backyard concert series featuring Daphne Rosenberg and Shalom of Nava Tehillah. And so they'll be performing some wonderful songs. And then this evening will be Minyan at 6 p.m. And after that, evening meditation at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, Minyan, as always, at 7:30, followed by a coffee and kavanah. If you're a member of our community and a member of Chazak, which is our active adult community, there's a Zoom session called What Everyone Should Know About Age-Related Memory Loss with Dr. Gary Small, who's a world-renowned neurologist and director of the UCLA Longevity Center. He's been a guest of VBS for many years, and it's good to have him back. And then followed up by the Great Discussions, Chazak Great Discussions. In the afternoon, for 4th and 5th graders, again, if you're a member of our shul, Camryn, who's here with us, will be hosting Survivor School, which is maybe Camryn, I'll let you talk about that in a minute. And then in the evening, Dr. Ron Wolfson, member of VBS and professor at the American Jewish University in Education, will be joining Rabbi Feinstein with in the Rabbi study. And then on Tuesday, again, there's Minyan. There's in the afternoon, there's story time with Rabbi Feinstein. In the evening with me, I'll be beginning my Pirkei Avot class, which is a class on ethics from 2,000 years ago and relevant for today. And that will also be streamed here on Facebook Live and on YouTube. The last one I want to just bring up is that every week we have conversation circles, which are facilitated by our Valley Beth Shalom Counseling Center. It's with volunteer counselors. We've had a counseling center for almost 50 years at VBS, and it's open to all, especially those who feel isolated and need to be near and hear others. And that's a Zoom link. And so if you would like to have access to that, just go to the vbs.org Valley Beth Shalom at Home webpage, and you can find out about that. And on Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Chef Danny Corson, who runs Culinary Kids Academy, also a member of VBS, is going to be doing a video on some cooking. So it'll be really great to have him. And then that night, Professor Jonathan Sarna, American historian of Jewish life in America, will be with Rabbi Feinstein in discussion of the history of American Judaism, but also how this crisis is affecting American Jewish life. And so that's what's going on this week. As with every week, there's just so much going on at Valley Beth Shalom. It wouldn't be a normal week at VBS if you weren't overly inundated with programming. And so if you have questions about that or things you want to check in with us, It would be great for you to go ahead and put your comments on our Facebook stream, which is the Valley Beth Shalom page on Facebook. Let us know that you're here. Just say hello. You can also push that like or love button. If you think something's funny, just interact with us because we are checking the comments. And we'd just love to hear from each and every one of you. As you can see, 3 of us are coming from our backyard because it's a Sunday morning, beautiful day in Southern California. Want to welcome Debbie. Nice to see you, Debbie Shayer, who's here with us. And of course, Marcelo, always good to see you. Maybe you'll come on one day and sing with us. That'd be really nice. Susan is here and Gila is here. And I see Andrew and Jessica are online, which is really nice, Ronnie, to have your folks with us. And there's some people over on YouTube who are watching too. So before we get to some comments that are going to come in, I just want to turn it over to you, Camryn, and talk a little bit about our So Healthy Together initiative and how we're working with our wonderful teens. I think you might be muted.
I was. That was for your benefit. So as everybody knows, it's been, wow, Rabbi, what's it been now? Like almost 18 months or more than that now, 20 months since we started So Healthy Together. And, so now we're in obviously the digital phase of it. Nitzan has done an incredible job of taking it over, and has been working with our steering committee, with our counseling center, and creating all different, and she can go into that in a minute as well, all different ways for our community to, get the resources that they need, whether they be out within our own community or outside. Our teens who you see on here right now, we all decided to collaborate with So Healthy Together and do something that really was for all families, but having the faces of 2 teenagers will kind of, we hope, engage, a younger group to recognize that this is difficult for everybody, right? We may not be as open about all of our feelings all the time, but this project and this campaign is really a way for us to explore ways that make us feel good about ourselves. So I know personally, I feel better when I can give back to others. And that seems to be, statistically true. So we have 4 different ways that we can get ourselves involved in creating community action for the mind, body, and soul. And so we have yet to really start our yoga one, but I know we're going to be starting that really, really soon. But the idea is to do a month-long challenge where we ask you, the audience, to follow along in our road down how to get better benefits from yoga and meditation. I personally have a few that I follow, and I know the girls have a few as well. But we're all going to ask everybody to, tag us in maybe some new poses that they are challenging themselves on, or show us some different ways that they meditate. We also have something with Sharsheret, which is oh, yes, Rabbi.
What is Sharsheret?
Actually, Ronnie, I would love if you would explain what Sharsheret is, since your mom is very much involved in that.
Sure. So Sharsheret is a Jewish nonprofit that helps women and families that are facing breast and ovarian cancer. And so they provide like mental health support, and like there's like a peer support network program. And since quarantine has begun, they've been going pretty virtual. They've been doing a bunch of webinars. And
so can you explain how we're going to be bringing Sharsheret into this community action campaign?
Sure. So it's called a busy box. We're coloring these sheets. We're going to put them in busy boxes, which are kits that are sent to parents with young children, like the parents who are facing breast or ovarian cancer, and they're sent to families with like young children, and it has family resources, it has age appropriate toys to like for the children. And so we're having people color sheets like this, and then they're sending them to the Sharsheret office, and they're going to put them in the boxes.
Right, so we have a link for that on our So Healthy Together page, which I didn't text, I posted it on this Facebook link. And you guys can find at the very top of that page is all 4 of our campaigns and links to access all of those. By the way, I just looked back and I have never seen this before, in our courtyard, there's a baby bunny this big and a little like black crow. So I was like, there's a party behind me right now. Anyway, so then we have 2 other campaigns. One is a mask making. So Rebecca Yasha, she can tell us a little bit more about how she's been involved in mask making.
Yeah, so on the So Healthy Together page, we put up a little like fun tutorial for how to hand sew face masks. So here's an example of one that I made. As you can tell, it's not professional by any means, but it was a fun little project to take on. And the more you do it, the faster you get. And with the masks you make, you can donate them to the VBS food bank, and they'll be given to guests who really need them. And another thing is that it's a really easy and fun way to get involved. If you have a sewing machine, it'll take you maybe 5 to 10 minutes to make a mask. So it's a really fun pastime. And if you're just learning how to sew, this is definitely a project you can take on. I'm not a professional, but if I was able to do it, then any of you can do it.
Fabulous.
That's amazing.
And those masks are made to Kaiser Permanente specifications. So we're using their pattern. So thank you to Kaiser for providing that to us. And we're also going to hopefully make enough masks that we can share them with the program for torture victims as well as the VBS food.
Right. And before we go to our last one, really fast, Ronnie just reminded me that under the Share It section, there's also a link where they have a list of Amazon requests. And under that is a ton of toys that would go into the busy boxes. So we're looking for people to donate there as well. But last but not least, we also have our blood drive through the Red Cross. And Rebecca, again, can explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so what we're doing is called a Sleeves Up campaign through the American Red Cross. And so what's going on right now is not a lot of people are leaving their house to donate blood. And something to know about blood donation is that you need a constant supply of new blood donations because they expire quickly. And people still need those donations even throughout this pandemic because these pre-existing health issues haven't just disappeared. And so what you can do is you can go to our VBS Sleeves Up campaign website and just pledge to donate blood. Now you can go in a few weeks after things have settled down and you're feeling more comfortable, or you can go now because donating blood is an essential service. And if you donate blood, you'll be saving up to 3 lives. So if you are 17 or older, please consider going to that website to sign up to pledge blood and share it with pretty much everybody you know, because this is a great mitzvah that we can do at this time. And it's a really easy way to get involved.
That's amazing. Thanks, Yasha. I really appreciate it and all the work that each of you are doing. Nitzan, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the wider initiatives that we've been working on in terms of chesed, and then sort of loop it back to the So Healthy Together piece?
Yeah, definitely. We've rolled out a lot of new programs since the pandemic, and our volunteers at VBS have been absolutely tremendous in getting these rolled out. One of our busiest initiatives is the Helping Hands program, where we have volunteers run essential errands for more isolated members who are higher risk for COVID and should be leaving their homes. So they run errands like groceries, picking up medical prescriptions. And so those are the most common ones. And honestly, I think we get requests and as soon as I send them out, I get a response within 5 minutes. So it's amazing to see the kind of turnout we're getting from our volunteers who just really want to be helpful at this time when there's so little we feel like we can do. So we want to make sure that people know that there are things they can do. So Helping Hands is one of them. Connected Conversations is a program where we partner different VBS community members to check in on each other, build relationship, because obviously it's really difficult on your mental health when you're not seeing people, you're not talking to as many people. So just having that conversation partner can really take that emotional burden off during this time. So it's just a small way to help get involved and make sure no one falls through the cracks. The food bank is obviously a huge one for us as a Chesed team. We faced a really big hill. We were running low on supplies. We had about 2 weeks left of food, and we knew we were going to be meeting much higher demands as people faced the economic hit of this crisis. So fortunately, we were able to turn things around pretty quickly. And we were given so many amazing donations from our own members. We were given grants that we went through the application process for with United Way, Sheila Kuhl's office. Are there others then? You can step in at any time. There's
Sure. We got it. We got a wonderful grant from our partners, the Sempra Energy Foundation, as well as the Conrad Hilton Foundation, good friends over there. And so we've been able to do enough fundraising to keep us viable for at least a little bit of time, and hopefully we can all get back on campus in some form or another and begin to create that virtuous cycle. We do know, just by the way, we do know everyone that the burn rate, the number of people who are coming to our food pantry is up, probably about 20%, and we think it'll just keep going up. It's very tough out there, and but our community stepped up a lot, and I just want to raise up a lot of gratitude for that. I want to welcome a few people who have just joined us. Natalia, always good to see you from the other side of the world. I love it that you participate so much in our work at Valley Beth Shalom. Talia, I hope you're doing well. And Doran, always good to see you. I hope you're still with us. Debbie Paperman, always good to see you too. Sharon Green Rothman is with us, and Francine, and of course the VBS Hug Ambassador herself, Shirley Lowey, is on watching us. So it's always good giving you hugs, Shirley. And a good friend Ben Miller is also on. So I hope everyone's doing well. Let us know if you're watching, and if you're watching, where from. And Francine Nitzan, Francine is asking if you still need some volunteers, because Francine would be willing to help out. Do you still need some volunteers for programs?
For programs like Helping Hands and Connected Conversations, I'm definitely in search of more volunteers. The requests we get, they come and go in waves. Obviously, people don't need their groceries done every day. They get a big grocery run, and then we don't hear from them for a week or two. So it's just good to get people linked in, and also just for our Chesed purposes to know who's interested in helping and making sure that you're looped in with even future initiatives. So definitely shoot me an email.
That's great. Amazing. Shirley sends big hugs too, by the way. Just for anyone who's on with us right now, if you have any questions for me or for Nitzan or Camryn or these two amazing team leaders that are helping so many in our community, either Rebecca Yasha or Ronnie Jablon, please go ahead and type your comments in, and we'll try to get the questions. We'll try to be as interactive as possible. Again, welcome. This is the Sunday Schmooze from Valley Beth Shalom. I'm Rabbi Noah Farkas. I'm joined with our Director of Youth Engagement, Camryn Kruger, and our Social Justice Director, Nitzan Barlev, as well as with Rebecca Yasha and Veronica Ronnie Jablon, who are two amazing teens in our youth program that are doing so much good work out there. And we're talking about mental health, we're talking about wellness, we're talking about how to help people through this very difficult experience. Francine is asking us again, can you send an email to her, Nitzan, so that she can be in touch with you?
Yes, definitely.
Great. Okay, thanks. Good. I'm glad we're able to make that connection. And again, if any of you have any questions, okay. So Harold Kravis is saying hello from New Jersey. Nice to see you, Harold. I was in touch with David Spear earlier this week. Harold, just want to let you know and follow up on our previous conversation. Rebecca, how are you? What's happening in your life? Anything new or exciting? I know you're doing all this wonderful work trying to help with masks and things, but how else are you managing? How are teens in general? Maybe it's for both of you. How are teens in general, like, sort of dealing with this crisis? And kind of like, when I was a teen, I always wanted to go out and hang out with friends. But if you can't do that, what are you doing?
I've been spending a lot more time with my family. Like, my older sister came home from college, so it's nice to see her again. And it kind of feels like she's back in high school. So we've been spending a lot of time just like as a family watching movies. And I think I speak for most teens when I say I really, really miss going to school. Like, I never thought I'd miss it this much, but I really do. And I can't wait to be back on campus eventually. But besides that, I'm doing really well.
That's good. How about you, Ronnie?
I've also been spending a bunch of time with my family. We've been having like dinner together every night, which has been really cool. I definitely miss my friends a lot and definitely miss going to school, which, like Yasha, never thought I'd ever say. But I spend a lot of time FaceTiming my friends, which is like not the same, but it definitely helps a lot. I also like school and stuff online has been, my school has been doing a pretty good job about staying like in touch and yeah, and practicing my saxophone.
Hey, Rabbi, that's a good question to ask because I do have this conversation weekly with the teens. Like, how is it different? You know, what specifically makes it different? They have like these two girls actually are two examples. Oh, and Nitzan brought some bread out, which is even more exciting than talking about school. But you know, even like their AP testing or SAT testing, things like that have completely changed. So, I mean, they can even give us insight into those minor things that we as adults don't even think about that can have huge ramifications for their future.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if either of you want to speak to that for a minute, that would be great.
I mean, AP tests, in terms of AP tests, I think that the whole thing is just completely different now. It used to be like, I forgot how long the test usually is, but it's like they changed it. So it's all online for AP US history, at least. It's all online. It's 45 minutes and it's one question now. And it's like, the whole thing is weird.
You have 45 minutes. You have 3 hours to take a 45-minute test at this point. I know. The different AP tests are different. I mean, I can go into some specifics only because I happen to be married to someone who's very much involved with this at the high school that she works at. But everything is different, right? The SAT dates have all been either canceled or changed. A lot of the schools, the UCs, for example, are going SAT optional, or they're not even considering it anymore. So the whole world's changing.
Which, you know, is frustrating for like our seniors right now who are like, wait a minute, we had to do all of that prepping and taking those tests and stressing out. And now like 1 year later, it's just like, skip it, no biggie.
It's true. This is for both of our teens, being inspired by Andrew's question, which is, you know, we got Mother's Day coming up in just about a week from now. And this would be a great question for both of you is, if at all, how have your moms inspired you to become the women that you are, or just the people that you are? Because he certainly really wants Ronnie to answer this question, as you could probably imagine, but I'd love for both of you to answer it. Yeah.
How has my mom inspired me to become who I am today?
So what is it like to have an amazing mom like Jessica? And how has it inspired you to be involved in stuff?
It is pretty cool to have an amazing mom like Jessica, I have to say. She is, I think I hear them laughing. Like, there's just so many ways. I'm trying to, like, that's such a big question. She's just inspired me a lot in general. The work she does with Share It is really cool. And yeah, it's just, I really don't know how to answer that question, but
she is an amazing woman. How about you, Rebecca? How's Azita sort of influenced you?
She's great. My mom's always insanely busy because I don't know how she does it having 4 kids. Like, as one of the 4, it still amazes me. And so every time that I think I'm too busy to take on another thing, like before doing this whole campaign, I was like, oh, I have school, I have this, I have that. But I see my mom and she's always working. Like, there's no stopping. And so I guess she just kind of shows me that I can always do just like a little more. And I don't know, it's like a really good way to push my limits and see what I can really do. And she's always really supportive of everything that I take on.
That's great. You both have amazing women role models in your life through your moms. Maybe Camryn or Nitzan, if either of you want to maybe say a nice thing. We got less than 7 days at this point till Mother's Day, and I can't imagine there's a lot of moms out there who are wishing that their kids could come visit or be close or be around with them. So
I'll speak really, really quickly on the fact that Ronnie and Rebecca both have really fantastic moms. I know them well, and really, what you see here is a true testament to the way that they've been raised. They have hearts of gold. They are hard workers. They are compassionate, and they understand community, which is what I think we are constantly trying to evoke at Valley Beth Shalom. As you can see, we're the most overprogrammed place in Los Angeles, but that is because we truly believe in, the beauty of all of us together and building a better tomorrow. And both Yash and Ronnie are really fantastic at that. I mean, Ronnie's mom really took a career leap, and I know that she's doing an incredible job and she loves what she's doing. And I personally understand that, going from a corporate world and then going into a nonprofit world, it's amazing. Suddenly your heart grows bigger and you just feel like there's a purpose. There's a purpose. And Yash's mom, Azita, is so funny. Rebecca will also can speak to this. One of my favorite things about Azita is she's so silly and goofy, and she'll say, even when things are really tough in her life. And my favorite thing she did in the last year is she got a truck, and she's living out, what are you calling it? Her like country honky tonk dreams. And she wants to be like a country rock star now, but she like pimps it out in this big truck. Love it. I mean, it's so great. But
you're saying that your mom, a middle-aged Persian woman, is driving a big pickup truck?
Yep, and we listen to country music almost every day.
Is she wearing flannel? Is she going all the way?
She doesn't really, but she used to wear more of it when she was younger. It's just kind of see like what an interesting cultural combination. It's really fun to see though, and I don't know, I appreciate it. I'm starting to like country music more, so I guess that's cool.
It's not all bad. It's true. Nitzan, do you want to say a couple things about your mom or what you're thinking about?
She doesn't know anything about this. When we talk, it's really just more personal, but she's in Vegas. Both my parents are, so I'm definitely missing them. It's hard to be away from family, but she's always been an amazing woman, very active in social justice and fighting for what's right, and that's really informed so much of who I am. So happy Mother's Day, Ima. I know you're not watching this. She doesn't have Facebook, but I'll show it to her later.
Just want to welcome everyone to the Sunday morning schmooze from Valley Beth Shalom. I'm Rabbi Noah Farkas. I'm joined here by our Director of Youth Engagement, Camryn Kruger, and our Director of Social Justice Programming, Nitzan Barlev, as well as two amazing teens, Veronica Jablon and Rebecca Yasha. It's so nice to have all of you here. This is just a time to check in, and if you have questions or comments, things that are on your mind that you have been thinking about, we've been doing this basically since the first Sunday that we were put into quarantine or to lockdown or safer at home. And it's been about 8 weeks, I think, 7 or 8 weeks. And we had wonderful people on, and it's just a chance to give some public service announcements and check in with the community. I saw that Rabbi Avi Taff is on, and Alana Vorspan's on with us. He wants to remind everyone we're also on YouTube, so high fives for that. Stacy Saraf is on. Stacy, I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's doing okay. I've been thinking about you a little bit. So some things coming up again this afternoon. Members of Nava Tehillah are going to be performing a backyard concert for us at 4 o'clock. And tonight is Minyan at 6, followed by meditation at 7. And tomorrow morning is Minyan at 7:30 in the morning, followed by a number of Chazak programs. So if you are a member of our active adult community, that would be for you. Camryn, who's here with us, is going to be hosting Survivor School in the afternoon for 4th and 5th graders. And then in the evenings, there's a couple of wonderful programs, including this coming week. We're going to be joined by Professor Dr. Jonathan Sarna, historian of American Judaism, as well as Dr. Ron Wilson, who is a professor at the American Jewish University in Education, who also is a member of Valley Beth Shalom. He's going to be talking a little bit about the relational aspect of this, and being the author of Relational Judaism, and talking a lot about the kind of work that we're doing together. So it's really great to have all of you here. Rebecca, you want to talk a little bit again just about the mask project that you're doing? The way this works on Facebook is people come and go, and so we have to sometimes circle back around and do these like little spiels a couple times. So maybe tell us again, how did you get involved with the mask project? Who brought it to you? And what does it take to actually put one of these masks together?
So really all you need are materials that you probably already have at home. So because there's been sort of like a shortage of elastic in a lot of stores lately, we chose a mask pattern by Kaiser that doesn't use any elastic. All you need is a bunch of fabric. And so you can use like an old t-shirt or anything, just make sure you wash it. And it's a really simple pattern to do. You just need 2 long strips and then a bigger piece of fabric. And we have a tutorial on the So Healthy Together page. And what we're doing with them is we're donating them to the VBS Food Bank and other organizations in need. And yeah, it's a really good way to use your time. If you have a sewing machine, it takes absolutely no time to make one. If you don't have a sewing machine, it takes a little longer, but I feel like we all have a lot of free time right now. And so that's all right.
All right, thanks so much for that. Ronnie, you want to talk a little bit more again about the busy boxes and what your mom's doing with Share It and some other projects you're working on?
Sure. So Share It is a Jewish nonprofit that helps all women and families that are facing breast and ovarian cancer. And so the busy boxes are these kits that are sent to parents that have young children, parents facing breast or ovarian cancer. And it has like family resources that help with like talking to your kids about cancer at like a childhood level. There's age appropriate toys. And so what we're having people do is either, so we have the Amazon wish list, which people can donate toys for the busy boxes to. And then the other thing is there's on the website, there's a printout that looks like this, except it's not colored in. And it's basically, so we're having people color this printout in, and then they mail it to the address, which is on the website, I believe. And they're gonna put the colored sheets into the busy boxes to send to the families.
Great, that's amazing. So the reason why all of you are gathered together today is so that you can tell us about some of the chesed projects, loving kindness projects that we're doing, but also about this So Healthy Together initiative. For the last almost 2 years, we've been working on trying to think about how mental wellness is part of Jewish life, and that we've been really trying to focus on that the last couple of years. Camryn or Nitzan, do you want to talk a little bit about what So Healthy Together is, and how we've been putting it together, and what are some of the initiatives we've done in the past, and what are some of the things we're doing now specifically as we're all doing Safer at Home?
So, we, as Rabbi just explained, we started in September of 2018. 2018. Wow. And we did a very large, what would you call that, Rabbi? It was a big event, but we called it like a symposium of things. We had a number of mental health organizations that came for, anyone who could come and speak if they wanted to get some resources. But we had 3 keynote speakers. Each were either doctors or mental health professionals, and Rabbi, he interviewed them. And it was a huge success. We had like 300 people. And from there, we launched out the actual campaign itself, which then divided out throughout the rest of Valley Beth Shalom into all the different schools and the different groups that we have within Valley Beth Shalom. You know, we've had everything from at the preschool, they've brought in professionals who can talk to parents who are stressed about raising a toddler, or even, you know, going through postpartum, all the way up to Chazak has actually done, which is our older generation. They've had incredible programming with up to like 150, 200 people there, showing movies. And so it's amazing. I mean, mental health absolutely can affect any age. Within our youth, we did a program where we had Teen Talk come in. They actually provide peer-to-peer mental health support. I believe, Rebecca, at one point you were potentially going to be helping them, but I understand it's okay. You're a very busy young lady. But you know, they help teens and into their early 20s, but you can call in or you can text in and ask for help. But it's been an incredible initiative. And this year, Nitzan has, you know, she came in this fiscal year, we'll say. So she started in what, October? Is that when you started?
September. Yeah.
September. And so she's done a great job of taking on this initiative, bringing in our, the people that are in our steering committee and really focusing on where we want to go from here. And, you know, like Rabbi said, maybe you can explain what we're currently working on and then what maybe the future holds for it. I don't know.
Sure. I think our most recent event was the Dr. Rossmarin anxiety event, which was amazing. He did a wonderful job from the Harvard Institute of like School of Anxiety or Anxiety Institute. It was like really focused on anxiety. I don't remember his bio. I'm doing a really great job. Sorry, Dr. Rossmarin.
He runs the Center for Anxiety.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I think we had about 100 or so people turn up for that event. And since then, we've been sort of taking a step back and trying to do more community building with mental health. There were programs that we were about to launch. And then, you know, obviously this crisis happened and it's harder to meet face to face. So some things are on the back burner, but the VBS Counseling Center has started support groups. Those are Wednesdays morning and evening, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m., I believe. And that has been a great resource to people who are seeking not just to talk to someone, which is our connected conversations, but to really have a mental health professional and a licensed counselor.
And those are not confidential, correct? Those are the ones that are more within a group, correct? Okay.
That is correct. They are not confidential.
So the VBS Counseling Center is still running, you know, confidential private sessions through their counseling center. They're taking virtual calls. So you can do counseling over the phone. Again, that's sliding scale. I know people are might be having a hard time financially right now. So your mental health should still be a priority. Don't let finances stand in the way of you, you know, taking good care of your mental and emotional well-being. So
that's great. And then in the future, like some things we're thinking about, Nitzan, maybe you want to speak a little bit about how we like really are engaged. Like, what are some things that we're thinking about for the future, given we don't know when we're going to go back to whatever was before?
Sorry, could you?
Yeah, like I've just been thinking a lot about the future, right? So we're in this like weird, safer at home situation. We know that we're having these support groups. And as we think about the future, I've been thinking about how do we understand mental wellness as part of this entire package, especially when we come back on campus, right? Our campus is closed. People aren't coming on campus. And, you know, when I think about the situation we're going through right now, I just think we need to like name what it is. For a lot of people, it is trauma in one level or another, whether it's the physical trauma of getting sick or the emotional trauma of not being able to see friends, or even the psychological trauma of losing a job, of being sort of with a very uncertain future. I mean, those are all certain levels of trauma. And so one of the things we think about is like how mental wellness is part of the entire package, right? When I think about, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think a big part of this, like you said, is traumatic, and we carry that in our bodies, in our souls, in our minds. Like, it affects how we sleep, how we eat. Even when people are lonely, sometimes you're so upset, it can be even difficult to reach out and access the resources that are there. It can be hard to pick up the phone and call your friend, even though you miss them. So this is definitely affecting people in different ways, and we want to be mindful of that. So that's why we've been reaching out, calling every single VBS member to see how they're doing, because everyone's needs are different at this time, and it's definitely affecting people's mental well-being too. So when we're reaching out and calling, it's not just to see, can you connect to our programming? Do you need food? It's also to make sure that people know that we're there for them. And it's through the good and the bad that VBS is here for you. But for the future, I don't know what the programming looks like. We'll move to being digital as much as we can for as long as we need to. But yeah, it's really tough to say right now what the future holds.
Yeah, it's very tough. I want to just welcome anyone who's online with us to ask a question of anyone who's with us today, or if you have any questions or comments about things at VBS, or about the work that we're doing, or about So Healthy Together, our mental wellness initiative, or for these amazing social action and chesed projects that our teens are involved with. I see that Doug is online with us. Really nice to see you, Doug. Hope you're doing well and your family's doing well. Jennifer Rosner just joined us. It's nice to see you too. This is Sunday Schmooze with Valley Beshalom. I'm Rabbi Farkas. So for any of you, do you have any questions or things you want to get out there, things that you're pushing that have been rising for you, not just on these particular topics, but just in general? What are you seeing out in the community? What are some of the other things that VBS has been doing to sort of promote the values that we live by, even through this crisis?
I think we are doing an incredible job of providing as many different types of programs that we can, every age group, every demographic. One of the things that actually Rabbi said earlier is the Survivors School that we're doing on Mondays. I'm not leading it, although that would be funny. But Nick Green, who has been working with the youth department long before I got here, he is actually an outdoors enthusiast, and he would have been currently hiking through the Appalachian Trail, which would have taken him 6 months, but because of the quarantine, he can't. So instead, he's actually taking a group of kids. Currently, the Survivor School is for 4th and 5th graders. But next year, we'll see how that landscape is, but we're going to be providing some form of an outdoor program for that age group all the way up into seniors. But a lot of what he's doing is using this platform to show what the outdoors can bring, right? Like he's teaching everything from safety. So like, if you see a bear coming, what's the best way to react, and really the statistics of like when you actually get hurt from a bear and why would you, down to how to tie a rope, down to how many days do you need to survive without food or water. It's incredible, and the kids are loving it. So you can imagine if they're just sitting here in front of a computer screen and enjoying it, wait till we get outside and we can implement some of these things. So that's been great. And I think giving especially youth the idea that there's a future, there's a great future ahead of us, gives you some sort of mental respite, like this isn't forever. And we need to deal with what's happening now, but we need to look forward and look forward in a positive vision. So I'm enjoying the programs that we're providing. I think all of Valley Beshalom is doing a fantastic job of providing all different types of programming. But of course, we are more than welcome to, any offering ideas and any questions about some of these programs. Our staff are here to provide those answers.
Awesome. Nitzan, you want to add anything?
Yes, I'd really like to highlight so many of our members and who've always lived out their Judaism by doing acts of kindness and social justice. They have, of course, stepped up to the plate again, and I want to highlight Robin Permal and her amazing fundraiser. I just checked, she's raised over $31,000 to feed ER workers who are on the front lines, sacrificing their time, potentially their health. And so she's been doing an amazing job, not only feeding them and making sure that they feel supported, but also supporting the local businesses that are also facing a tough time right now. So that's just a perfect example of how VBS members are living out their Jewish values. So big kudos to Robin Permal. We have a link, I believe, to her fundraiser on our website, but let me put it in our chat right now, and someone can share it out too.
That'd be great. That'd be really great. That was amazing. I was I just forgot of something. It's something that came to mind that I thought was really important that of course, super important, so important that I forgot it. Yeah, thanks, Nitzan, for sharing that. We'll share that out also maybe on the Facebook chat itself so that folks outside the Zoom can see it. And I was also thinking a lot just about, we have this partnership with the Jewish Home that's kind of emerging, which has been really great. We've been able to get them some PPE, personal protective equipment, as well as partnering some mental health work for their staff, because they're really isolated, they're really on the front lines. And so anyone who wants to participate in our Jewish Home for the Aged partnership, just let us know. You can either email me or Nitzan, or get a hold of us at Valley Bet Shalom. And it's just really great to see everyone online with us. It's really great for those who are joining us to be with us and to see you, Rebecca, and you, Ronnie. We're going to start bringing this to a close now. So if you have any closing thoughts or comments, let me turn it over to Camryn first so that we can give the teens a second to think of something to say. You're muted, Cammy. Still muted, Cammy. It's okay. I'm unmuting you.
Oopsie, sorry.
Let's try that again.
I was trying to copy and paste what Nitzan sent, and then it only pasted the Zoom link. So if you wanted to jump in really fast and say hi. But what was the question, Rabbi, really fast?
Oh, just if you have any closing thoughts or comments, given, we do have an amazing community that's doing so much, but,
We do. I just want to say how proud I am to be a part of this community, be a part of the staff and the synagogue. A combination of our staff as well as all the congregants. Sorry for that dog up there. Really, just especially in times of need, just expose their full selves, their beautiful souls, and the way that they really care about every individual. It's just a wonderful way to see how much we can all come together, and even in times of need. And I think that that's the true testament to the best parts of Jewish life. But yeah, and going forward, go to the Facebook page for the VBS Youth Department. We constantly have programs for K through 12. I'll be adding as much as I can. And, you can always reach out to me if you have any questions at ckruger@vbs.org. I want to thank the teens below for being actively involved and being able to, juggle school and everything else, plus be so excited about being in this program. So thank you girls so much. And other teens can be just as involved, let us know.
Thanks, Camryn. Ronnie, do you have anything you want to close out with? Final thought you want to leave us with this morning?
A final thought. Just that I'm really excited about this program, and I think it's going to be really cool, and that everybody should participate.
Great, thanks. How about you, Yasha? Do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, all I want to say is that contributing to the social action campaign is as good for the world as it will be for anybody who participates. For example, if you go out to donate blood, you'll get to leave the house and see the sun. I would highly recommend you do that. if you decide to sew masks or color in one of the coloring page, not only are you helping other people, but both sewing and coloring things in are a great way to like release your stress and just be a little more creative during this time. So yeah, just keep, oh, and yoga is also really, really good for you. And so just keep in mind that these are all really great options for any free time you guys have. And it'd be really great if anybody wants to join in.
Thanks, Rebecca. And Nitzan, you want to take us out?
Well, yeah, I wanted to express my gratitude to the teams and Camryn and also the committees, So Healthy Together and the Homelessness Task Force, who have spent as members countless hours with me on Zoom and the phone, and really working hard to make sure that the most vulnerable members of our community and the greater LA community are, being fought for, being taken care of right now. So I really want to thank them for all their hard work. So if you're interested in homelessness and mental health and social justice, whatever it is, if it's not something that we're currently working on and you want to see us working on it, I want to hear from you. Emails nbarlev@vbs.org. So just thank you for all the people out there right now who are taking this time to do good for others and in turn do good for themselves, as Yasha explained. So thanks.
My final thoughts are that I'm just really proud to be part of such a great community that's so diverse and that is constantly working to try to bring the world together in a more holistic and powerful, and I would say sacred and holy way. And I want to thank Camryn and Nitzan for all the work you do across our community. And I really want to thank Ronnie and Rebecca for all the work that you do in your own lives. I'm really proud to have you as part of our own community and have such wonderful leaders as the two of you. One last thing, next week is Mother's Day. So please give your mom a hug, a call, FaceTime, something. I'll be coming back here Sunday morning, Mother's Day, for a Mother's Day edition of the Sunday Schmooze. And the guest will actually be my partner and wife, Sarah Robinson, Farkas, who will talk about our life and a little bit about how she's a mom to our kids and maybe there's some advice in there. I don't know, just a chance to check in with everyone. So I want to thank all of you again for coming, and to everyone out there in internet land, I hope you're doing well and that you stay safe and stay home, except for when you're doing chesed work, and stay healthy and stay loving to each other.
Thank
Everyone
you,
say
Rabbi.
goodbye.